CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Bermuda is bracing for Fiona. Bermuda's Minister of National Security is urging residents to heed storm warnings.
The island can expect to experience 5 to 6 hours of 50-plus knot winds in the early hours of Friday morning during the peak of the storm.
Hurricane Fiona already ravaged Puerto Rico. President Biden says the federal government will help.
I've authorized 100% federal funding for debris removal, search and rescue, power and water restoration, shelter and food for the whole month. 100%.
The federal judge in the case of those documents taken from Mar-a-Lago has revised her directive to the special master following an appeals court ruling.
The appeals court panel said the Justice Department can proceed with its criminal probe into the handling of roughly 100 documents marked classified, and that those documents should not be part of the special master's review of whether they're either Trump's personal belongings or somehow protected by privilege. And CBS News has learned the criminal investigation into the handling of those documents is once again underway.
CBS's Stephen Portnoy. More backlash for Russia's president.
If Russia stops fighting, the war ends. If Ukraine stops fighting, Ukraine ends.
Before the United Nations Security Council, the U.S. Secretary of State slammed Russia's war on Ukraine and Russian President Vladimir Putin's order to mobilize thousands of reserve fighters.
That President Putin picked this week, as most of the world gathers at the United Nations, to add fuel to the fire that he started, shows his utter contempt for the UN Charter, for the General Assembly, and for this council.
That report from CBS's Deborah Alfarone. In Iran, protests over the death of a 22-year-old woman detained by the country's morality police for allegedly wearing her headscarf improperly. Her father speaking through an interpreter.
I still cannot believe she's dead. I don't want to believe she's not alive. The authorities made up a lot of lies. Iranian state media are saying she had health conditions before, but that's a lie.
Reports indicate she was severely beaten. And as for the protests, at least 9 people killed. The Pentagon will soon cut grocery prices. Press Secretary Brigadier General Pat Ryder.
This applies to essentially, most products in the commissary, but in particular, it's going to affect staples like bread, milk, eggs, as compared to grocery stores that are off installation.
Boeing has agreed to pay $200 million to settle allegations the company and its former CEO misled investors about the safety of its 737 MAX jets. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681.
I'm Tommy Lang with KCJJ News. A shelter house resident and an alleged accomplice have been arrested after being found in possession of a stolen vehicle. Police located the vehicle, a 2014 Toyota Avalon, on William Street, just before 9:30 Wednesday night. After verifying that it was still on record as stolen, investigators spoke with one of its occupants, 30-year-old Michael Baker. Baker told officers that he'd been in possession of the vehicle for over a month and bought the vehicle, in his words, in exchange for stealing some nice clothes. Occupants on the scene verified Baker had use of the vehicle and received rides from him. Baker is charged with first-degree theft, a Class C felony punishable by a prison term of up to 10 years. An alleged accomplice, 58-year-old Robert Lucas, faces the same charge after he was found behind the wheel of the vehicle when it was located. An Iowa City man on federal supervised release has been taken into custody after a search warrant allegedly turned up drugs and evidence of firearm use. On September 8th, police were dispatched to assist with federal probation officers to conduct a home visit on 43-year-old James Franzier. He was observed driving a Dodge Challenger, was stopped, and ordered to return home for the visit. Franzier reportedly parked his vehicle and walked home to complete the visit. Officers went back to the vehicle after the visit, reportedly saw drugs in plain view, and impounded the vehicle. A search warrant was obtained and executed on September 11th. Authorities allegedly located a large amount of cocaine and marijuana, as well as several shooting targets. A warrant was also served at Franzier's Abbey Lane residence the same day. His live-in girlfriend's cell phone was seized, and a check of the contents showed a video showing Franzier shooting a firearm at the same shooting targets found inside his vehicle. There were also reportedly text messages Franzier sent to the girlfriend asking to go to the gun range. As a convicted felon, Franzier is prohibited from possessing or using firearms. Franzier was taken into custody Monday afternoon. He faces charges of being a felon in possession of a firearm, 2 drug tax stamp violations, a Class C controlled substance violation, and a Class D controlled substance violation. If convicted on all counts, Franzier could be sentenced to up to 30 years in prison. The city of Iowa City will close multiple streets starting on Friday and running through Sunday for the Soul and Blues Festival. The annual Music and Culture Festival, organized by Summer of the Arts, brings a score of musicians to downtown Iowa City for the 2-day event. For more information on the Soul and Blues Festival, visit summerofthearts.org. Clinton Street from Jefferson to Washington Streets and Iowa Avenue from Clinton to Dubuque Streets will be closed from 6 a.m. Friday to 2 a.m. Sunday. In sports, the 5th-ranked Iowa field hockey team travels to top-ranked Northwestern for a top-5 matchup Friday afternoon at 3. That match can be seen on the Big Ten Network. Sports, the Regina Booster Club will induct the late Coach D, John DeMarco, into the Regina Athletics Hall of Fame at halftime of Friday night's homecoming game against Wilton. DeMarco coached football for 10 seasons for the Eagles and was the junior and senior high phys ed teacher for decades. DeMarco was also the first COVID-related death reported in Johnson County, succumbing to the virus in April of 2020. Our high school football game on Friday night will be the battle for the boot as number 10 West High hosts City High. Our full schedule can be found at 1630 KCJJ.com under High School Sports. With KCJJ News, I'm Tommy Lang.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Your Iowa City forecast, I'm Corey Hartman. For tonight, mostly cloudy, low near 47. Chance of showers on your Friday, mostly cloudy, high near 60. A little on the breezy side. For Friday night, partly cloudy, low near 51, still breezy. And breezy on Saturday with highs back into the mid-70s. Low 70s on Sunday with sunshine. Monday, mostly sunny, high near 69. Tuesday, sunny and 66. That's the forecast on KCJJ. Right now, it's 62.
1630 KCJJ. It is now time for Molly Suter and the other girl with Cindy.
Hello.
Hello.
Am I loud enough?
You should turn it up a little bit, yeah.
Is that better?
A little
louder?
bit.
Louder?
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
I think that's good. You just kind of talk softly anyway.
You're the only person that has ever said that in the history of me talking.
Well, maybe it's just on an on-air thing, but we really want louder rather than softer, and so...
I'm always the loudest, highest pitched in the...
No, Steve always tells me, like, when I first started here, like, for some reason, on our board, we have these hash marks that really don't indicate anything, and he kept telling me, he's like, ignore those. We want, like, our base to be, like, way above those, and, like... I don't know, I kept trying to only have it at the hash mark. He's like, no, we have things in place where it's not going to be too loud. Just pot it up.
Just go by the feel.
Yeah,
is what he's trying to tell you.
So that's what I'm telling you now. Turn it up. Turn it
up to 11. Do you know that movie?
No. What's that?
What is the name of it?
Turn It Up. I thought that was Turn It Up to 11.
No, it's from a movie. It's the movie that they did like a fake documentary about a rock band.
That Thing You Do?
No, this is really old.
So is That Thing You Do.
No, this might be older.
That Thing You Do was like the 90s, right? It has like Liv Tyler in it, which should tell you something.
Turn It Up to 11. It'll tell me.
Turn It Up to 11 movie.
Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap.
Oh, my parents had that movie. I don't know if
that's old.
I don't know if we have that anymore, but I do remember seeing that in our list of DVDs growing up. Anyway, if you are listening and you want to be active in our chat room, because apparently we do have YouTube today, go to YouTube and search the mighty 1630 KCJJ. You'll be able to see me, Cindy, in the studio, although mostly Cindy, which is how I want it.
Like the back of my head.
If I were in that room, I think I would have the the camera pointed somewhere else. I don't like being on camera.
I don't mind it. I
don't like it.
It's not the best angle.
It's not. But yeah, you can see us, and then you can
chat and tell us like what movie that was from,
or
because I wasn't
whatever, something like that. But it's always better if we have like a good chat room going.
I know when you said that we weren't going to have a chat room, I'm like, well, what's the point? Yeah. Should I just go home?
No, we'll just force people to listen to whatever
my dad
we want to talk about, like we do normally. But
my dad called, and I answered it because I forgot that he had called earlier, and I didn't call him back. But I said, hey, I'm at KCJJ. I can only talk for a second. He's like, oh, I'm in the car right now. I'll listen.
Oh,
because that's the only way he knows how to.
That's fine. That's valid. But yeah, there's this thing that I don't really have the details on, but YouTube tried to suspend us for some reason that I'm not clear about.
I have
but
a theory.
We're good. What's the theory?
They said you have that Molly girl working for you, and she got banned from
Tinder.
She's no good.
I don't think that's it. Because if that were the case, they would have done that like a month ago or 2 months ago or whatever, when we were at like our height of swiping, and they didn't. It was something about Puerto Rico. I think Steve was talking about the hurricanes and to donate to like relief efforts or something, and apparently that's not allowed. But I don't know. So Steve or Tommy or anyone else, if you're listening and can explain what that was.
Well, it clearly wasn't. It didn't take. So
no, it's fine. I think they appealed it, and apparently we're Gucci.
For the kids, that means that's good. We're good.
Oh yeah, we're all good. We're all clear. Yeah, the youths are saying Gucci, except I don't think they are anymore. The youth said that like 5 years ago.
We were at work. I work in an office, and we were trying to figure out what we're going to do for Halloween. And of course,
no one figured that out too.
No one wants to come out. We kind of wanted to do a theme, for the office. And I brought up several themes. I'm like, oh, we should do corn. We should dress up as corn.
Oh yeah,
that would be the timing would be just perfect. And then the other coworker that is also like one of the people that kind of talked me into finally getting on TikTok. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, we could do a video. And I'm like, yeah, that would be really great, because we're like 6 months late on the corn trend, and we could just release it directly to Facebook, because then it would be right on time.
Honestly, yeah.
It goes TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yep. And then it lives on Facebook forever.
Yeah, and then you get it sent to your friends that say they hate TikTok.
I know. It's the same with Instagram Reels. Like, my cousin watches Instagram Reels all the time, and she's like, have you guys seen this? And it's like a TikTok from 3 months ago. And I'm like, of course, I have seen this.
Like the TikTok.
I know. They're like, I don't want to download a separate app. That's what my sister told me before she finally got on TikTok. And I'm like, I understand that, but TikTok is really funny. And all of the videos where you were watching anyway, like when I send you TikToks or when your other friends send you TikToks, like it's going to be so much easier to watch them on the app. rather than like on the web browser or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I could see if you have limited space on your phone, maybe.
But she doesn't know. That's not an excuse.
And there are some people that I know I keep bugging to get on, and I know why they don't, because they've got the same issue I have, which is you end up scrolling for 3 hours, and you're like, where's my life going? Like,
I have no life anyway, so.
Well, I know, but like, I need to figure out a way to get control of the time suck.
Going back to the Halloween costumes, I have to figure that out too, because I have a wedding to go to October 28th, because the bride really loves Halloween and she wanted it to be as close to Halloween as possible, without it being like, I think Halloween's like a Tuesday or something this year.
I think
so
it's
like
Monday is what they said. But
or Monday, yeah, which is like unacceptable.
I haven't looked,
but you know, no one's gonna have a wedding on Monday. But so hers is on a Friday. I'm gonna go, and it's the invitation said costumes highly encouraged. So instead of wedding attire, everyone comes in Halloween costumes. So I have to think about what to do. A couple of my friends and I were talking about being sexy national monuments. I don't know if we're doing that though.
I mean, the Lincoln Monument is already.
You mean Washington?
Or the one that's a big.
That's the Washington Monument. Yes. 1630 KCJJ, you're on the air.
Hello, I have an idea for your costume for the wedding.
Oh, yes? What is it?
Go as Kim Reynolds and just hang out by the bar.
Okay. But then I'd have to be sexy Kim Reynolds.
Well, that's impossible.
Well, all right, thank you for the suggestion.
You're welcome. Have a good show.
All right, bye. If you have any suggestions for my Halloween costume, please call 319-358-1630. And maybe it won't. I was a sexy politician last year. I was sexy Chuck Grassley. And, like, it was a hit, but nobody knew who I was except when I had my Dairy Queen cup with me. But I got, like, sexy Freud. I got sexy Bernie Sanders. I got sexy Ben Franklin. And then one person guessed Chuck Grassley right off the bat. And I'm like, thank you.
That happened when in college I dressed as Jesus. Not sexy Jesus, just Jesus. Because back in my day, we didn't do sexy costumes. We just dressed as whatever, because we were boring. But everyone thought I was Moses. I'm like,
no. I mean, they are biblical figures, so at least they got
wear
that.
Robes and
big wig.
And
bare feet.
Actually, I didn't have a wig because I had dark brown hair at the time anyway, so it was long. And then I had a
Why would people think Moses?
I don't know. I'm like, I'm not out there splitting the Red Sea.
No.
I've got a grail. I had a grail.
You should have had, like, a cross.
I wanted to do Jesus before he got crucified.
Oh, okay.
Like fun Jesus.
Then you should...
Like Jesus before he got...
Then you should have had, like, your carpentry...
Ran into Pontius Pilate.
Your carpentry kit.
Yeah.
Because he was a carpenter.
It'd be Jesus in his 20s when you don't really know about him.
Right.
Because I was 20.
Honestly,
at the time.
I haven't read the Bible. I'm sorry, family members who are Christian. I haven't.
I went through all the way through confirmation in religion, whatever. When you're like a teenager, you go to confirmation.
That's a Catholic thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's other religions too, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I remember my friend in high school had to do confirmation class, and she was Catholic. I don't think she is anymore, but I don't know if her parents are anywhere, actually.
Nobody in my family really goes except for the one, my immediate family. My other family, like my aunts and uncles, they're all pretty religious, but on the other side, my mom's side. But
yeah, so that was when you went to confirmation class. That was like in high school, right?
I think I was
just like my friend.
Yeah, sophomore in high school.
Yeah, we were like sophomores, juniors, or something in high school. Right around when you're like 16. Yeah, that seems right.
And that's after years of catechism every Wednesday, and so we learned a lot of Bible stuff. I didn't really pay attention though.
I went to, I think maybe, I don't know if I've shared this on air before, but when I was in 7th junior high, whatever grade it was, I don't remember, but I went to a combination horse Jesus camp, and we had a Bible class every day, and we had to bring a Bible with us. And so, I mean, my family does have a few just down in the basement, and so I just took it from there, but it was always the most boring class. I'm like, when are we riding the horses again?
Did you know that it was a...
Yes.
Or is that how they tricked you?
No, they didn't. No,
they're like, hey, we've got horses. Oh, and by the way.
No, they didn't trick us. I mean, I went to Vacation Bible School when I was a kid, and then by the time I went to the Jesus Horse Camp, I was no longer a believer, but my cousin who I went with was and still is, and so we kind of went for her, and I'm just like, I can deal with the Jesus if I get to ride some horses.
I mean, that's really choices you make.
And it was a fun camp. It really was. I just wasn't a fan of Bible study. It was a good camp, though. I think it was called Wesley Woods. I don't know if it's still a thing.
You should have just stuck with Girl Scouts. They have a great...
See, I didn't do Girl Scouts. I don't know why. I was just never interested in it.
I never went to horse camp, but my sister did when she was in Girl Scouts.
I did go to a day horse camp in the summer when I was a kid over here at Centaur Stables. It's not that far from here. And I don't know if that exists anymore either. Wow. It's kind of bumming me out.
I think there's horses over, like, in Cedar Valley, like, in between, like, West Branch and Tipton. There's a place out there.
Mm-hmm. Can you go and just, like, ride if you want to?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. I remember a couple years ago I looked into it because the kids and I were talking about it. But...
Yeah, I should do that. I haven't ridden a horse since that camp, I don't think, since I was, like, 13. When I was a kid, I rode horses. A little bit. I was afraid of heights, but I really liked the animals, so I was simultaneously afraid to go and looking forward to going. It was very odd, but I'm less afraid of heights now, so I feel like now would be better to go.
I'm sure there's some place that you can ride horses.
I'm sure around here. I just haven't looked. If any of you know places to ride horses, 319-358-1630. Tell us that along with what you think my Halloween costume should be this year.
I don't have any good ideas.
I was also thinking of going, like, because I do still want to wear a dress because it's a wedding, you know. Mm-hmm. I want to look nice. So I was thinking about, like, maybe, like, a Disney princess or something, like Megara from Hercules, so I could wear like a cute purple dress and then a high ponytail, and I don't have to do my hair all that complicated. But I don't know. We'll see. Or I have yet to go to Spirit Halloween this year either, and I'm usually like really on that, but we'll see. I still have my bald cap from last year.
You can make that work into something.
I can recycle it.
I don't know, a wedding, and they didn't give you any other type of theme for the Halloween.
No, my sister is in the wedding, and so she has like specific instructions on like wear something in this color palette. You know, so she has to choose a dress like that's either teal or burgundy or blah blah blah. You know,
those are fun.
But I don't think the guests have anything like that.
If I were to get married again, that's what I would do. Not make everybody wear matching dresses.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's what I would do as well. Just because I know how expensive it can be when you have to pay for your own bridesmaid's dress, or like some people love having destination bachelorette parties, and that can cost thousands and thousands of dollars too. So it can be really expensive.
Thanks to TikTok.
Just being in a wedding. No, this happened.
Well, no, but thanks to TikTok,
too.
I know all the drama now that happens with the people that want the destination wedding, but they don't want to pay for it. They want all the bridesmaids to pay for it.
Yeah, like that's not gonna fly with me. I would never have people like spend more than $100 out of pocket for anything.
Well, I don't understand how some people, brides, get to the point where that they think that that's okay to ask of their friends.
I know, it's like
And these people are not from like generational wealth families. They're from like,
where are you getting all of this money?
Yeah, where do you think that your friends are? I mean, your friends came up just like you did. I don't think these people were poor to begin with, but they're not like multi-billionaires.
Well, thank God my friends don't do this either. Just because I feel like I choose my friends wisely, and none of them would ask this of their friends to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on their wedding.
Like the bridesmaids would have to pay for not only all the wedding stuff, but the makeup of the day, and they have to wear their hair a certain way, and then they have to pay for the bachelorette party, and then whatever other parties that they put together. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I haven't been to a wedding in... Oh, last summer I went to a wedding, but that was kind of last minute. Like, it was it was my sister's former coworker, and at the last minute they're like, "Oh, Amy, you can bring Molly if you want." And so I was like, "Okay."
And you were desperate for socialization, so you went.
Yeah. Also, like, but this was also a girl I went to high school with, and so like it was kind of a mini high school reunion of people I was like vaguely familiar with.
All my friends have gotten married and divorced, so.
Including you. You've done that.
Exactly, yeah.
Is there any one of your friends that's still married?
Acquaintances. There are some. I know some people that have been married for a while.
That's nice. Good for you.
But, I mean, why?
Because they're in love and they chose wisely. Yeah. Or maybe they're miserable and can't, find the courage to get out. I don't know.
I'm just saying. Single's not so bad.
It's not. To all the married couples out there, I really wish you the best. I really do. And the shade is not to you. This is for people who, like, get married because they think they have to.
Yeah. I mean, I think I know some. Actually, I do know one or two happy couples. They seem happy together. I don't know them real well, but they seem to. I know like one of the couples, and they never ever speak poorly of their spouse, which tells me something. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like if you're like your coworker or something, and they never speak negatively of their spouse.
Is that a good sign?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Not that speaking negatively of your spouse is a bad sign.
I mean, if you're just venting about a problem like once or twice, sure. But if it's a daily occurrence, I'm like, Brenda, dump his ass.
But then some people are in situations where they really can't. Like they own homes together. And
it were financial reasons, yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I say just add on to the house and live separately. That's what I would do.
Or find a job or get jobs where one of you is like first shift, 9 to 5, whatever, and the other one is second shift. And so you have the same house, but it's like you live apart.
Exactly.
So you never have to see each other.
I worked with the lady. This is years and years ago, that she said that the reason why she had been married for 20 some years is because she worked during the day, her husband worked at the night.
So you never saw each other?
Exactly.
Is that the secret to like a good marriage? I think that's weird.
It would be for mine.
Yeah, maybe you'd still be married.
Probably.
I feel like if you're only married because you don't see them, like isn't that a bad sign?
I mean, there's some financial advantages to being married. I mean, you're not paying for 2 different households and all that stuff.
Yeah. But you can live together without being married.
That's true.
This has become kind of an anti-marriage thing, and I didn't mean for it to.
I'm not against marriage, but...
No, you have been married. You can't be against marriage if you've been married.
We were talking about... So I'd seen this TikTok, and it was a lesbian couple. Mm-hmm. And TikTok... Something about TikTok and lesbians, like...
I know that's your FYP. That's like of your...
all mine. And... I don't think I am, but I do realize that lesbian relationships, at least the ones that I see on TikTok, they have set the bar where it should be. Like
for everyone.
Hetero females we need to do better.
Get the short end of the stick,
this
for sure.
Woman was reading off of her phone all of her partner's preferences, like not only what her go-to coffee order at Starbucks was, but her backup coffee order if they didn't have what was available. I mean, it was like this list, and she went on for like 3 minutes of all of the things that she does. And I'm like, I think the guys that I've dated, I don't even think they knew what my birthday was.
That's,
you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like that's kind of,
and I'm not saying that's the only thing you need to know to be in a relationship, but it helps if you
like
are invested.
Minimum. I also feel a similar way about, like, fathers who don't know anything about their kids.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's either Jimmy Kimmel or one of those late night shows do, like, a man on the street thing, and they find families walking down, like, Rodeo or whatever, and they ask the dads, they're like, when's your kid's birthday? And the dads are always like, it's in May, I think. And then the mom's like, it's June 3rd. Or like, what's your kid's teacher's name? Mrs. Fernandez. And then the mom's like, no, it's Mr. Porter or whatever, or something like that. This also just might be an editing thing as well. Like, they want to make these dads look doofy and stuff, but also, like, I believe it.
I do, yeah. I mean, I had a similar experience with my daughter who lives at my house still. And, you know, I've taken care of the dog that her and her dad decided to get. And I went away for Labor Day weekend for just overnight. And she was supposed to take care of the dog. And so she's like, so what do I do with him? Like, she had no idea. Like, it's not like the dog has an extreme schedule, but I'm like, okay,
feed it and walk it.
I'm like, you know, make sure he goes out before you go to bed. So
yeah.
Once at night, and then in the morning, he's going to let you know when he has to go. Like, get up by 8 o'clock at the latest, because he's used to getting up at like 6:30 to go. I'm like, if he really needs to go, he will. And I had to tell her what the sign was. Like, he'll like poke his head at you and not let you alone, and you have to listen. Otherwise, he's going to go pee out in the living room. She's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, this is your dog too.
Yeah, like,
like, you have no idea. She's like, no, I don't. Which is good. But I'm like, have become like the mom.
I think the point here is put effort into your relationships.
Exactly.
And don't, like, let them lie just because they're yours. They're right there.
Well, and my point is, if you're single, set the bar higher.
Set the bar higher and don't settle for the bare minimum.
A guy who's, you know, late to the first date, who is not willing to put in the effort to plan a date, you know, that kind of thing. Those are warning signs of what's to come.
Or, like, doesn't know your birthday, doesn't know your Starbucks order. That's got to be pretty simple.
Well, I came across
I mean, it varies by season if you're into, like, the, like, PSLs or, like, the peppermint mochas or something, but...
Well, mine would have to know that I don't really go to Starbucks.
Well, I feel like that's...
Scooters. And anything with caramel.
But, like, what's the coffee order? Like, it shouldn't be that hard to know that.
Right.
If you really know your partner.
Well, and I saw another couple of TikToks that were people that were in partnerships or had been in partnerships, and they were describing how their birthday was coming up, and the boyfriend or husband or whoever it was asked what do they want for their birthday. And she basically said, I don't want to plan anything. And so this whole long story went on, and about how a couple weeks before their birthday, the boyfriend or partner asked again, what do you want to do? And they're like, well, you're supposed to plan something. Here are 2 choices. And
but that's still planning stuff. That's planning the choices.
The partners in both of the stories never planned anything.
Of course they did.
And
I'm not surprised.
These women were like so aggravated that they couldn't even get, like, one of them's like, I'll even pay for it all. You just have to plan it.
Oh my God.
I'm like, okay, well, that's, again, you're notching that bar down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was clearly something that was important to these individuals, and their partners were not
meeting,
putting forth the
effort.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not even that hard. Like, oh, I don't want to plan anything. Just plan a party at, like, a karaoke bar or something. That's really not.
And this girl was like, one of the girls was like, yeah, I wanted to do this. I don't know, I think it was like a dive thing with sharks or whatever, you know, like
Ooh,
you do at
nice.
aquariums, one of those, and then some other thing. It was just basically them two. It wasn't like he had to send invitations out or plan a big party. And like, I don't remember how both ended, but one of them said that she does what they always do, which is to have a birthday party at her house because her dad is at the same birthday time.
Mm-hmm.
So they usually have a joint party and she plans it. And so she's like, so I spent my birthday planning a party for myself and other people. I didn't get to enjoy it.
Ugh. That sucks.
I know. I don't know if they're still together. I should probably that'll probably pop up on my FYP next week.
Mm-hmm.
See the end of the story.
Along with more lesbian couples raising the bar for everyone.
I know. Mine has been less lesbian, and I don't know what theme it's on right now, but it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I don't think Oh, you know what? I get that guy, you know, Roger Clyde, who does the minute covers of songs.
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, I'll send you a few, but it's usually just him doing the cover of like a Taylor Swift song or a Harry Styles song or whatever, and then people will go and take like his face and put it onto like all these different backgrounds, being like, me at 3 a.m. it's a Taylor Swift song, and like watching Pride and Prejudice and like drinking rosé and stuff like that. So that's mostly my FYP right now.
I can't even think of a theme of what mine is.
Send you one.
Mine's still a lot of ADHD stuff that.
Oh yeah, but that's always.
Yeah.
Always.
More and more. There's 4 people in chat.
There's 4 people in chat.
I think it's you and me is 2 of them.
And then who?
And then you can
Elvis and who else? A lurker. One lurker. All right. So 319-358-1630 if you want to comment on anything that we're talking about, or online on YouTube, the mighty 1630 KCJJ. You can see us in the studio, and you can talk in the chat room if you want. I'm a little bit sleepy right now. I had both of my, I had my COVID booster today and my flu shot today. And I think both of them are making me a bit tired. You know what's funny? So, I got the COVID booster in one arm, and, I mean, it felt like a needle going into your arm, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then the flu shot actually only felt like a mosquito biting or something.
Why don't you do them in both the same arm?
That's just not what the pharmacist did.
Oh. I made them when I did 3 at once, because I did.
Oh, that's right.
Last November, shingles, COVID booster, and flu shot. And I just made him do it all in one arm.
That's funny.
That way I can sleep on one side.
Oh, that's a good one. But the flu shot is actually more sore now, and it bled more. And the COVID one, like, it's hardly sore at all. I can like lift my arm over my head, and good. This is a good thing. I sleep on this side anyway, so that's not going to be an issue. But yeah, it was just funny that I would consider flu shot to be like less intense, but this arm is pretty sore, actually. The one with the flu shot in it.
Is this the second booster?
Yeah, I got the second booster. I got the first one back in November of last year.
That's when I got mine too.
Yeah, but I wanted to get mine during the summer, but despite the fact that like I was not taking the appointment away from any immunocompromised person, I want to say that, like, there were a billion different appointments open, like they still refused me because I wasn't immunocompromised, and I was like, but there's no point in denying me because you already like thought it out. Why not just put it in my arm? That didn't make sense to me.
I know there's a third one though too, right? Because I think my dad just got the third one. but he's like old, so he always gets that.
Yeah, I think this can serve as either a second or third.
Yeah,
one.
and I should
Or
have
maybe
gotten a
fourth
booster. I didn't think about it. I thought about it. I just didn't. I couldn't remember how many were out there. Get them all at once.
I don't even know.
I like to load up. Get multiple shots at once, so I'm done with it.
Apparently, the call earlier was our friend Elvis.
Oh.
Oof. Sorry, that was my arm. Gosh, I really hope it's not as bad tomorrow, since I have some gleaning to do for Table to Table, but we'll see.
You're young. You'll bounce back.
I'm not as young as I once was, Cindy. You can't see her, but she's staring at me right now with this look. Like, really?
Well, you're not old like me, so mine is still red. You can see.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah. I was out for I slept most of the day yesterday.
Nice.
He told me this one has a kick.
This one has a kick.
Okay.
Except that's what they've been telling me about all these COVID shots. Like, a lot of people are like, wow, it totally kicked my ass. And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm thriving. Except now. But that's because of the flu shot, not the COVID shot.
How can you tell? Just because the arm hurts worse doesn't mean that that's not what's knocking you out.
Well, why would the pain from this arm go to this arm?
I'm just saying what's happening inside may not be connected to the pain on the arms.
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe they're working together.
Possibly. That's why I'm a big advocate of getting everything done at once.
So your body can just sort it out for itself.
And then just sleep for 24 hours and then you're fine.
I would love
Everything's
to.
fine.
That sounds great. I want to do that. After the busy summer I've had, definitely. I've booked myself a massage for after my AmeriCorps service is done. I've booked a vacation. I'm going back to Boston like I did last year.
Fun.
And what else did I do? I booked something else fun too. So like I had a really busy summer.
I'm all impressed with myself because I booked a dental appointment and I found a place that does it online.
Ooh,
so I don't have to talk to anybody. Red Hawk. It's a new place. My daughter has gone there.
Maybe we shouldn't be talking about that on there.
Oh.
Tell me later.
Well, my daughter's gone there and she liked it. But they have online booking and then they confirm it via email, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I did my shingle shot, which is like 6 months overdue. I booked, what else did I book? Oh, my mammogram.
Oh.
Which was 6 months overdue. So I did all those fun adult things.
Those are fun. Those are fun to do.
I'm still working on booking a physical and getting my car in to get my hatch fixed and my oil changed. But
oh yeah, my oil change is coming up soon now too. It's usually around October. I haven't had like my car will let me know when it's time.
Yeah, Katie's does that.
Digitally.
Mine doesn't do that.
I have a 2014. What year is yours?
Mine's a 2014 Hyundai.
Oh.
But I had a 2017 Kia, and it never told me when the oil was needed.
Oh, really?
It only told me when the oil was like... I never let it get down that far, but I think it would tell you if there was a problem, and that's about it.
Well, yeah, that's what it means when it, like, alerts me to this problem that needs to be fixed. It's the oil.
So you know how I got all this stuff done? Did I tell you my plan? I don't know if you saw this on Facebook.
I don't know.
I decided to hire an assistant.
Ooh.
Me. I'm my assistant.
Oh.
So I have a list of tasks, and when I complete like 7 or 8 tasks, I give myself $10.
Hey.
In my little assistant account, and then at the end of the month, I don't know what I'm going to do with the money, but probably something.
That's
make
funny.
an extra payment on something or something.
I like
and it got me to do like made my doctor's appointments that I've been putting off forever. All sorts of little things. All the things that I think, oh God, I would love to have a partner in the house that would help me with these kind of things.
Be your own partner.
I'm my own assistant. I'm my own partner.
Hell yeah. Moose is not going to do it for you.
He's not. He doesn't even open the door when my hands are full. So,
Moose,
I know.
That's so rude.
I would love to train him to do that, but that would probably be a bad thing. to learn how to open the door.
The dog open the door? Yeah, that won't be the best thing to do. But you could tell him You could teach him how to open the fridge. Like, people, like, tie a cloth around the handle, and so the dog can open it with its mouth.
I don't want him doing that either.
That's true. Yeah, because it could just
He would just get into everything he's not supposed to get into.
That's true. So if you have a well-behaved dog, you could do that. But
I'd like him to guard the freezer to bark at me whenever I want ice cream and I don't really need ice cream. That would be more useful, probably.
I guess I was about to say, like, oh, put something in the freezer that Moose doesn't like, and so when he sees it, he'll be like, but I don't want you to torture the doggy, so.
No. He's a pretty good kid.
He's a good boy.
He is.
A boy who I still have not met.
Oh.
And I will say it's because I've had a very busy summer, but even before that.
I mean, it would be great if I could just bring him out here when I'm on air with you. But
I guess
don't know
you
that
could.
He's
but...
pretty. I don't know. He's kind of hyper when he gets around new places.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if he was older. If he was older, he'd
maybe sometime when I'm driving around and I hear you on air and I'm in the area, I'll grab him and bring him out, and you can meet him on a commercial break.
Yeah, because I do want to meet him. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy.
Oh, my ear itches. Excuse me.
I don't have any other time. I could tell you about my going. Do you know where I've been the last couple Saturdays?
No.
At Kinnick Stadium.
Oh, wait.
Can you believe that?
I did see that last Saturday because I went tailgating with my dad.
Oh, where were you?
And Mom. I don't even know what it's called. It's some parking lot by that red barn. It used to be, it's where my grandma's house was.
Oh, your grandma's house. I have no idea where that is.
She used to live on Melrose Place back when Melrose Place was a thing.
We had a Melrose Place in Iowa City?
Yes.
Like the TV show?
It was across the street from the stadium and the hospital. It's like right across the street from those. It was great when my grandma's house was there because like on football Saturdays and back when you could leave at halftime and come back into the stadium, like you could go back to my grandma's house and have a beer or something. I didn't because I was a kid, but like it must have been nice for my parents and aunts and uncles to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, and they always had like free parking, which must have been nice as well. But then they bulldozed her house in like, I don't know, 2014
to make room for hospital.
Yep, to make room for the children's hospital.
Ah, well.
Because they took out a ramp to do that, and so they needed more parking. And so they made a parking lot out of my grandma's neighborhood. Yeah, it's sad. Because that was a cool house. It was like they moved in and decorated it in the 70s and then never redecorated. So, like, the man's room was like this really dark wallpaper and like shag carpet, like
green
and with the orange flesh.
I thought it was going to be wood
carpet.
paneling, but
actually no, it was wood paneling.
That was very big 70s.
You know what? In the bathroom, that was the really dark wallpaper. That's what I'm thinking about.
I'm guessing they had sort of like a yellow and brown plaid Davenport, they would have called it.
I don't know.
A couch.
No, I think it was some kind of green, but I don't remember. And then the other bathroom was carpeted.
I'm not a big fan of carpeting.
I'm like, I don't like that.
Although you don't slip on the floor when it's wet.
No, but like, what if because my grandma had a bathtub. Like, what if the water gets on the carpet and like you just get like water
mildew,
yeah,
sort of growing.
Ew. Like I hate that. Carpet in the bathroom is not a good idea.
No, I've got that in my bathroom. At least until I rip it up.
You got carpet in
well,
no.
I've got one of those ensuite type. So it's like the bedroom and there's like a doorway, but there's no door. And then there's the bathroom and then there's a toilet room off to the side. And then the toilet room has like a little patch of linoleum. And then they took the carpet from the bedroom and just kind of. But Moose chewed on the corner of the carpet when we first moved in. He hasn't touched it since, but I'm glad he did because I'm able to pull it up and I can see it's the same linoleum that's in the toilet room.
Oh, nice.
So I think I can just rip up the carpet and kind of cut it and then figure out how to.
Why would you carpet a bathroom?
I don't know. I carpet over the linoleum.
Yes,
So
70s people. People alive in the 70s. Why?
I think this
Why?
mobile home was built in the 80s, but still.
80s
He must have
peoples.
just
Why?
put new carpet in and just moved it all the way into the bathroom, which, okay, whatever. It's fine, but.
But, I think the way we're talking about, like, carpet in the bathrooms and wood paneling is how people are going to think when they think back on the grayscale, like, wood on, like, all these modern apartments and houses and maybe, like, granite countertops and things like that. Just gray everything.
Well,
it's just monochromatic.
I don't understand the people that.
It looks so, like, unhomey.
Well, and they own a home, but they don't want to do anything because of resale. I'm like,
then what's the point?
Then don't, like, they want everything neutral in case they want to resell their house later, which to me doesn't make any sense. Like,
I mean, I guess I
enjoy the color.
I guess I kind of get it. Like, if you're getting a starter house or something, like, to get you started to, like, get credit or whatever homeowners get. I don't know. I don't own a house, but I guess I understand that, like, you buy a house so you can sell it in a few years once you have all this credit, and so you can get a new house, a better house. But still, like,
I still want to live in.
Don't you want to improve the house so it can
or be
sell
happy.
better? Yeah.
Like, the minute I painted that one little tiny room that pink color, I can see it from my bed, and it just makes me happy.
Yeah.
And I walk in there and I'm like, oh,
well,
that's pink. That, like, really. And then my orange wall, like, I'm like, it makes me happy.
And you own the house. You can do whatever you want with it. And then the people, if you do decide to ever sell it, like, the people are either going to be like, ooh, I hate that orange wall. I'm going to paint it over. Like,
I'm going to say, good luck. It's dark color. You're going to need some extra expensive paint for that.
Or what if, like, someone buys your house and they're like, I hate that pink wall. We're not going to buy the house because I don't want to repaint it. I want a perfect house. Like, there's always going to be some modification to do.
They ain't going to be looking for a mobile home if they want a perfect house.
Right.
Just saying. I'm living in this house forever.
Forever and ever and ever?
Well, until it, like, disintegrates. I don't know how long mobile homes last, but...
I mean, there's still some around from, like, the 80s and stuff, so...
Well, that's what mine is.
Oh, yeah, so, like...
it might be 2000. I can't remember when exactly it was when it was born, but...
That's like a 20-year difference.
I feel like it's the 80s because some of the choices of patterns seem very dated.
Okay,
but...
I feel like the fact that we're talking about carpet in the bathroom is nobody was doing that in the year 2000. Oh, I hope so. I hope not.
Well, and like I said, I think it's a choice of whoever decided they wanted carpet in the bedroom. They just kind of, because there's linoleum, at least in part of the bathroom. Like, they just laid over. It's almost like they had extra carpet. They're like, hey, why don't we just do the bathroom too? So I don't know if it was a choice. Like, I need carpet. What I don't like, the last house I lived in had carpet in the kitchen. It was like that utility, you know what I'm talking about? That utility carpet that's like really...
Yeah.
I mean, easy to clean up, like, spills and stuff off of, but it was not
I am always spilling stuff when I'm cooking. I'm always, like, dropping a chopped onion or something. And I feel like if you do that a lot with your carpet and you don't, like, clean it up, it's going to be really gross.
I mean, it was a rental, but even if I lived there, owned a place, I don't know that I would. It's hard to steam clean that kind of. It's like a very
right.
I don't know. What is it called? You know what I'm talking about.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's like the carpet that you would put like outside, almost heavy duty. It was not plush.
Durable.
Yes, it was not plush carpeting.
Why would you put that in the kitchen? That's
I mean,
I don't understand.
Choices were made.
The trends of yesteryear.
The rest of the kitchen was really cute, but like old-fashioned like cabinets and stuff. It even had one of those little breadboards, you know, like you pull out the board. Have you ever seen those? They're like recessed into the cabinet, and you pull it out, and it's almost like a pull-out desk, sort of.
Oh, wait. I think I have seen that.
And I had to ask an older woman, I'm like, what? Like, I have one of those things in my kitchen. What's it used for? And she's like, oh, you need bread on it. I'm like,
oh.
I'm like, I thought it was just an extra place to put, like, plates when you're getting stuff ready.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it can. You can use it however you want. All right. So we are going to take a little break for news and weather, and we'll come back and talk about something. So you're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Bermuda is bracing for Fiona. Bermuda's Minister of National Security is urging residents to heed storm warnings.
The island can expect to experience 5 to 6 hours of 50-plus knot winds in the early hours of Friday morning during the peak of the storm.
Hurricane Fiona already ravaged Puerto Rico. President Biden says the federal government will help.
I've authorized 100% federal funding for debris removal, search and rescue, power and water restoration, shelter and food for the whole month. 100%.
The federal judge in the case of those documents taken from Mar-a-Lago has revised her directive to the special master following an appeals court ruling.
The appeals court panel said the Justice Department can proceed with its criminal probe into the handling of roughly 100 documents marked classified, and that those documents should not be part of the special master's review of whether they're either Trump's personal belongings or somehow protected by privilege. And CBS News has learned the criminal investigation into the handling of those documents is once again underway.
CBS's Stephen Portnoy. More backlash for Russia's president.
If Russia stops fighting, the war ends. If Ukraine stops fighting, Ukraine ends.
Before the United Nations Security Council, the U.S. Secretary of State slammed Russia's war on Ukraine and Russian President Vladimir Putin's order to mobilize thousands of reserve fighters.
That President Putin picked this week, as most of the world gathers at the United Nations, to add fuel to the fire that he started, shows his utter contempt for the UN Charter, for the General Assembly, and for this council.
That report from CBS's Deborah Alfarone. In Iran, protests over the death of a 22-year-old woman detained by the country's morality police for allegedly wearing her headscarf improperly. Her father is speaking through an interpreter.
I still cannot believe she's dead. I don't want to believe she's not alive. The authorities made up a lot of lies. Iranian state media are saying she had health conditions before, but that's a lie.
Reports indicate she was severely beaten. And as for the protests, at least 9 people killed. The Pentagon will soon cut grocery prices. Press Secretary Brigadier General Pat Ryder.
This applies to essentially, most products in the commissary, but in particular, it's going to affect staples like bread, milk, eggs, as compared to grocery stores that are off installation.
Boeing has agreed to pay $200 million to settle allegations the company and its former CEO misled investors about the safety of its 737 MAX jets. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Now, Iowa City's news first.
I'm Tommy Lang with KCJJ News. A shelter house resident and an alleged accomplice have been arrested after being found in possession of a stolen vehicle. Police located the vehicle, a 2014 Toyota Avalon, on William Street, just before 9:30 Wednesday night. After verifying that it was still on record as stolen, investigators spoke with one of its occupants, 30-year-old Michael Baker. Baker told officers that he'd been in possession of the vehicle for over a month and bought the vehicle, in his words, in exchange for stealing some nice clothes. Occupants on the scene verified Baker had use of the vehicle and received rides from him. Baker is charged with first-degree theft, a Class C felony punishable by a prison term of up to 10 years. An alleged accomplice, 58-year-old Robert Lucas, faces the same charge after he was found behind the wheel of the vehicle when it was located. An Iowa City man on federal supervised release has been taken into custody after a search warrant allegedly turned up drugs and evidence of firearm use. On September 8th, police were dispatched to assist with federal probation officers to conduct a home visit on 43-year-old James Franzier. He was observed driving a Dodge Challenger, was stopped, and ordered to return home for the visit. Franzier reportedly parked his vehicle and walked home to complete the visit. Officers went back to the vehicle after the visit, reportedly saw drugs in plain view, and impounded the vehicle. A search warrant was obtained and executed on September 11th. Authorities allegedly located a large amount of cocaine and marijuana, as well as several shooting targets. A warrant was also served at Franzier's Abbey Lane residence the same day. His live-in girlfriend's cell phone was seized, and a check of the contents showed a video showing Franzier shooting a firearm at the same shooting targets found inside his vehicle. There were also reportedly text messages Franzier sent to the girlfriend asking to go to the gun range. As a convicted felon, Franzier is prohibited from possessing or using firearms. Franzier was taken into custody Monday afternoon. He faces charges of being a felon in possession of a firearm, 2 drug tax stamp violations, a Class C controlled substance violation, and a Class D controlled substance violation. If convicted on all counts, Franzier could be sentenced to up to 30 years in prison. The city of Iowa City will close multiple streets starting on Friday and running through Sunday for the Soul and Blues Festival. The annual music and culture festival, organized by Summer of the Arts, brings a score of musicians to downtown Iowa City for the 2-day event. For more information on the Soul and Blues Festival, visit summerofthearts.org. Clinton Street from Jefferson to Washington Streets and Iowa Avenue from Clinton to Dubuque Streets will be closed from 6 a.m. Friday to 2 a.m. Sunday. In sports, the 5th-ranked Iowa field hockey team travels to top-ranked Northwestern for a top-5 matchup Friday afternoon at 3. That match can be seen on the Big Ten Network. Sports, the Regina Booster Club will induct the late Coach D, John DeMarco, into the Regina Athletics Hall of Fame at halftime of Friday night's homecoming game against Wilton. DeMarco coached football for 10 seasons for the Eagles and was the junior and senior high phys ed teacher for decades. DeMarco is also the first COVID-related death reported in Johnson County, succumbing to the virus in April of 2020. Our high school football game on Friday night will be the battle for the boot as number 10 West High hosts City High. Our full schedule can be found at 1630 kcjj.com under high school sports. With KCJJ News, I'm Tommy Lang.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
With your Iowa City forecast, I'm Corey Hartman. For tonight, mostly cloudy, low near 47. Chance of showers on your Friday, mostly cloudy, high near 60. A little on the breezy side. For Friday night, partly cloudy, low near 51, still breezy. And breezy on Saturday with highs back into the mid-70s. Low 70s on Sunday with sunshine. Monday, mostly sunny, high near 69. Tuesday, sunny and 66. That's the forecast on KCJJ. Right now, it's 62.
You're listening to Molly Suter on the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
Yes, you are, but you're also listening to the other girl.
That's me.
What's your name?
Cindy.
Yes. Okay. So welcome to the second hour of Molly Suter and the other girl. If you are just now joining us, I am taking calls about what you think my Halloween costume should be. 319-358-1630. What else were we taking calls about?
Nothing else. Although
I think we were. I was
joking about taking a call for people to tell us what that movie was from. But I looked it up.
Oh, what is it?
This is Spinal Tap.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
Thanks to Google, we don't need your phone calls. Thank you very much.
Yes,
we can just look it up.
You are not Google anymore, people.
I was playing. Okay, you don't have an iPhone, right?
No.
Okay, I do.
Okay.
Because I'm special. But they just upgraded to whatever, the new iOS or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Which is not that interesting to me.
347th.
And I very rarely look like, hey, here's what you can do now, because usually it's nothing different. Well, they have this feature where you can take the person, like the subject of the picture, and then just sort of take that subject only away from the background and then paste it.
Oh.
So I'm sending all my family, all my kids, my ex-husband, I sent him one of Moose with his little pink cowboy hat on.
Oh.
Just as like the outline.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter's like, why are you doing this? Like, because I can.
Not? Yeah, it's cute.
It's really funny.
Why did Moose have a little pink cowboy
Well, because
hat
a couple weeks ago I was working with a client at Walmart. And, of course, every time I'm at Walmart, I don't go in the store very often unless I'm working. And I had a little bit of energy, and I had to get a couple things anyway. And the person I was working with was in the Halloween section. Like, and, of course, I'm like, why did you have to? She showed me. She's like, oh, look, we've got dog costumes. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? And they had this cute little pink cowboy hat.
Cute.
And I'm like, and I'm helping her straighten up and everything. I look around. There's an adult-sized pink cowboy hat, and there's only one left. I'm like, well, how much? It doesn't matter. I don't care how much. Doesn't matter.
I will purchase this.
Because at first I'm like, there's no price on this, but I'm like, like the dog hat was like $3.99.
It's priceless.
I think it was like, yeah,
it's priceless.
Like, I've always wanted a cheap pink cowboy hat.
And now you can match with Moose.
Well, and after I bought it, I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I'm just basically getting this for the Facebook postings,
right?
Essentially, because it's not like he wore it for about 2 minutes, just long enough for me to get a very blurry picture of him. And he started chewing on it, so I put it up out of the way. And I don't know that he's going to be around. When we give, I don't know how Halloween is going to work, because he'll bark at everybody that comes up to the door.
Is there like a screen door, a storm door? Because you could leave that open, and then Moose would
he'll
be
just
able to see everyone.
See, our front window that he barks at is like right by the front door, so he'll just bark there, and I'll just have to go and kind of lock him in the house, and then just because I have like I keep calling it the breezeway or the mud room. There's like 2 entrances, so I can kind of keep him in the main part of the house and just give candy out or I might just set a bowl out. I don't know, because this is the second year that basically I've lived there, and kids actually come to the house and trick or treat.
Yeah, I personally love seeing all the costumes, and so if I can, I'll be out. But I work at night, and so unless it's a Saturday or Sunday night, which it has been for the past 2 years, I can't be there to greet trick-or-treaters.
I just have been the house before it was too hard to figure out how to get we were on a corner and our entrances were just really badly lit. So it was like, we just gave up and turned the lights off. We're like, we're not going to give out candy. So it's nice to have a house that we can actually do that at. It's not confusing.
I think it was 2020. It was during the height of the pandemic when nobody was vaccinated, but I think it did fall on a Saturday that year. And so my sister and I sat out and we were on our porch and we had people like not come up the stairs and we just kind of threw candy at them.
Yeah.
It was so fun. And then at the end of the night, there were these like 12-year-old boys that came down our street because we were pretty much the only ones handing out candy on like our section of the street. And I'm like, this is so lame. But these group of boys, they came up to us and we threw candy at them. And then like an hour later, they came back because like they knew nobody was on the street. And so they're like, give us your candy. And we're like, well, we don't want to keep all of this. So yeah, sure.
It's like a reverse parade where you sit and throw the candy.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, we only got a few trick-or-treaters. We kind of had to beckon them. We were like, hey, we're over here.
Well, based on what I've seen at the tailgating, everything's just back to normal. So
yeah. Sure not a mask in sight at tailgate, including me. I didn't wear one just because we were outside and because of the weather. Like, it was kind of a chill tailgate. I think if it was at its like max, like ISU, like people just crowding around you, I think maybe I would have worn a mask.
Well, first like 2 weeks ago, that game, I'm still amazed at how many people. Like there were so many people right around the stadium itself, but then where I have to park is up at the top of Melrose by the athletic center or whatever that thing is called. So it's like a 20-minute walk up Melrose, and I've never been in that area on a game day. I know Melrose has all the parties and stuff, but I'm just in awe at how many houses have activities going on.
Parties
you know,
going
like,
on, yeah.
And there's just like
I like the atmosphere
a mile of wall-to-wall people. It's too many people. Like even pre-pandemic, I think that would have really exhausted me. But
it does me too. That's why I only go to like one tailgate, one game a year. I didn't go to a game this year, and I probably won't, just because I still don't like the idea of being packed into Kinnick like a can of sardines. Mostly people maskless. I don't think that's the move for me. But I did still want to go to one tailgate because I do like it, and I do like the party atmosphere, and I like going to the game. But like with people, like my dad was trying to get me to like scalp a ticket. He's like, oh yeah, you can find a ticket, go to the game. And I'm just like, I would be by myself. I would be like with randos around me. Like that's not fun to me.
Well, this last game you could have just walked in the last hour since it was at like midnight.
Okay, but I'm not going to do that.
At least that's what I heard.
But it was, I think more people would have stuck it out if it was ISU or something, but it was Nevada, and so people are like, I'm not staying for this. Well, even my parents left after the first lightning delay. They're like, no, we're not doing this.
I got to see where the 10%er people watched the game from.
Oh yeah, I've heard that press box is
I didn't go up to the press box, but I was like on level 1, 2, and 3. I got to see the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are nice. Like I would go to every game if I could sit in the box.
Do you have a friend who like hooked you up with the tickets, or?
I work through my other part-time job, so I help out some people that do like the security stuff. So it's like I get to see all the behind-the-scenes stuff. So I get to hang out.
How the sausage is made?
Yeah. And speaking of sausage, one of the little rooms had like a hot dog roller in there. I'm like, you could ask for that?
Sounds
That's
good
fancy.
to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although I think if I were to go to a game like that, I would make them turn something else on the TV, not football. Like, I'll be watching Real Housewives. You guys watch the game out there.
I don't want to be watching this game. I love how you went into Kinnick so you could watch the Desperate Housewives.
I just want the food. It looked really nice. Like you don't have to worry about the weather or anything, unless there's a tornado and then you got to leave. But
right. I mean,
no, they make all the seats like that.
No, they mandatory evacuated the entire stadium with lightning because they don't want people to get electrocuted by lightning.
Even inside the building, they did.
I don't know, but I mean, when I looked at it on TV, there was nobody else in the stands.
I know, but I'm talking about the building.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, who could this be? I'm moving kind of slow. 1630 KCJJ, you're on the air.
Hey, how we doing?
Hi, I'm good.
I'm not sure if you noticed, but the game actually ran until 2 in the morning. I was up until 10.
I did know that. I would never...
Let me turn down the radio here.
I would never, ever go to a game that lasted till 2 in the morning.
Made me wonder, like, where the other players went, like, where the fans actually went, because obviously, stadium is opened, obviously. I mean, they have to evacuate the stadium, probably putting in harm's way.
Yeah, I think
I'd probably just go in the hospital.
I think at first they were just in, like, the tunnels, or not the tunnels, but, like, the concession area, but a lot of people just left after that, because as I said, it was like the Nevada game, so people are like, I don't care about this.
Well, I wondered about, because where I was
a complete slaughter, though.
They were all tired.
Yeah.
I wondered about, like, the people that do concessions and stuff. Were they still there at the end of the game? Was the security there the whole time?
Did they have to stay? I don't know.
Like, that would have sucked for...
Yeah, I mean, like, especially for people who came all the way from Nevada to have their team get slaughtered.
At 2 in the morning? Yeah, that probably sucked.
All right, anyway, I better let you guys get back to the show.
All right, thanks for the call. Bye.
All right. We're jammed packed with other topics. I have no...
So I've recently I binge watched, have you seen the Sex Lives of College Girls?
I started watching it, and then I sort of...
I didn't like it?
It's not that I didn't like it, it was on in the background, and it just sort of went from being a show that I was watching to, like, sort of in and out, and to me just ignoring it. And usually when I realized I hadn't really paid attention to an entire episode as it was playing, I kind of give up on it.
Honestly, I really liked it, so I would recommend giving it another chance. There's only one season. So,
I mean, I think I watched about half of it, but...
And also, I got my parents into Dairy Girls. I think I've talked about this on the show before.
That's something I do want to watch. I've seen an episode or two, but I haven't had a chance. You have to, like, sit and sort of really listen.
You kind of have to have the subtitles on because regular Irish accents, I can usually tell what they're saying if they're, like, soft enough, but these girls are from Derry, which is, like, the border of Northern Ireland and just Ireland, and so Northern Ireland, the accent is almost impossible to understand, and so it's kind of, Derry is different, but it's closer to a Northern Irish accent, I would say, in terms of can I understand it? And the answer is no. But season 3 is coming out on Netflix October 7th, and I'm very excited for it because they haven't added a season of that for years and years at this point. Like, I think I first watched Dairy Girls in 2020. Like, it's been a while.
I know I've seen an episode or two, but I haven't really.
I think it's so funny.
I've heard good things. I see clips of it all the time that look really funny. Well, actually, I think TikTok has gotten me to make...
Yeah.
You know what this is kind of it's not really superhero. Morbius.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the clip of Matt Smith doing the dance when he's shirtless?
No.
So that's from Morbius. And I'm
okay.
I didn't even, like, I don't know if you know who Matt Smith is.
Doctor Who. Okay. Doctor Who, yeah.
He's in the new...
I do know that as well. Yep. I haven't watched the show, but I do know he's in it.
I think you could watch House of Dragons and not have watched Game of Thrones.
But is it? But is it good? But is it good?
So the first episode, I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Because I'm a big Game of Thrones person. Then the second, how many episodes have there been? 4? 3?
I think 4 or 5.
I want to say the last week's or the week before last. I'm like, ugh, because it's like some of it's just like more. It's like politics, only like to get to be the king. Do you know what I'm saying? So to me, it was kind of like, and who's sleeping with who, and this whole like. Oh my gosh, did she lose her virginity to this person or that? That kind of. I thought, this is really ridiculous. This does not look good.
Sounds like high school.
Well, yeah. And then I watched this last season or this last episode, and again, I'm like, ugh. But then, of course, TikTok has all these clips of like what's going to happen next, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I will watch it because there are some interesting characters that are like to see the romantic, the romance of it. But it's more
Cindy
brutal. I know.
Is looking forward to
Well,
romance?
there was a scene at the very end of this last episode. I can spoil it, can I? It's been a week.
Yeah, it's been a week, but spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
So there's a big fight that goes out, and the Raina, who is one of the main characters, is like in the middle of this melee. Like she's kind of like cowering. And this knight that really wasn't that important up until like you've seen him a little bit here and there, and he's kind of handsome and he's kind of big. He gets the go-ahead from his dad, who is now the hand or whatever, to go. He just kind of nods. And this knight, big and burly, just starts punching people, grabs her, throws her over his shoulder, and takes her to safety.
Oh,
and apparently,
that's hot.
This isn't really a spoiler because everyone knows it in the books. They become an item, even though she's married to somebody else.
Yeah.
So now I kind of want to see that play out.
Yeah.
But then I'm also kind of like, if it's more of the, I don't know, it's still Game of Thrones, so there's still like an uncle that wants to sleep with his niece.
Of
and
course.
it's just like,
I don't understand incest as a plot point. That just seems weird to me.
They look like identical. Like that's the thing too. It's like,
oh, is it Matt Smith and the other blonde girl?
Yeah, I mean, they both look the same to me. So it's like, why would you sleep with somebody that looks so much like you?
I don't know. Some people are into that.
That you know is your blood relative.
Not me.
That you watched. And much younger,
yeah.
too.
Ugh. No,
I know
I don't get it.
It's supposed to be in the, like the fake.
No, this is not based on any time period. This is a fantasy
and this
land.
Is another thing.
Why did you make incest exist in this fantasy land? You could be like, that's just not a thing here.
That's true. He could have gone another route.
You can always go another route other than incest. That's not.
Well, okay, so earlier I was saying, I don't know what my TikTok is. Now I remember what it is. All this week it's been Game of Thrones stuff.
Right.
And House of Dragons. And they're all, these people are on there talking about the lineage and the history. and I'm like, you guys know this is not real, right?
Did someone do like a kin chart?
They've got maps. They've got pictures.
You know what? I am a purveyor of people being unapologetically into something. I just think it's funny. I saw this tweet and it was like, I can't believe y'all let Game of Thrones come back into your lives like this after all of the bitching and moaning about the final season and the season finale. Like, you guys did this to yourselves.
I know, but I liked the season finale.
I know you did.
I liked it.
And my parents did, but everyone else did not. Yeah, I thought it was funny. It was like, how did you guys let this back into your lives?
Well, I mean, at this point, I'm like, I'll still watch it. I feel the same way about She-Hulk. I really want to like She-Hulk, but I'm not
going to force myself into liking something. I've started a series where, like, if I'm not engaged enough to keep going, I don't want to waste my time.
I get it.
I could be watching something else.
I do that with
reading
a comedy movie. I give it 20 minutes. If it doesn't make me laugh, I'm not watching the rest of it.
Yeah, I do that with movies as well, regardless of genre. If I am not engaged by the 10-minute mark, I'm not going to finish it. Yeah, or even if like there's a multiple season show, if I like season 1, but season 2's not grabbing me, I'm not going to watch season 2.
But sometimes some actors and actresses will be like I like the actress that plays She-Hulk, so I'm like, I really want it to do well.
Right. No, I understand that too. That's what I did because I really like Rami Malek as an actor, and I watched all but the final season of Mr. Robot just because I liked Rami Malek.
Oh, I liked that show.
But I had to like struggle through season 2 because it didn't make any sense.
It took me a couple of, I mean, I didn't watch it when it first came out, but I think it was probably season 3 when I finally started watching it.
But like I watched like the first 5 minutes of the first episode of season 4, and then it like I was watching it on demand, I think at my parents' house, and the episode like glitched and then went right back to the beginning, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this again, and I couldn't like fast forward, and so I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this. That was how many years ago now, and I never picked it back up. So I'm like, life's too short to watch something just because you were once into it or you liked the first part of it.
Well, I've gotten to the point though I've watched everything I want to watch, so now I'm like just waiting for something good to happen.
Did I send that tweet to you that Paper Girls was canceled?
You did, and I'm still kind of
I know, I am so mad about that. I'm like, it was so good. Like, Amazon, why? And Amazon canceled another one of my shows too, The Wilds.
I didn't watch that.
That was so good. Season 1 especially was really good. But they canceled it. And so I'm like, you left this on like a huge cliffhanger. If you don't know if you're going to be greenlit, don't leave it on a cliffhanger.
Right. I think Amazon does have a lot of shows that are just one seasons.
Yeah, like they cancel so willy-nilly. I wonder if it's maybe it's probably a money thing. They don't put as much money into their shows.
I think they just throw everything out there, and if it ends up being The Boys, you get a couple seasons. If it's not The Boys, then sorry, you're not going to get.
They throw spaghetti at the wall. See what
exactly.
But I wish Paper Girls stuck. And I wish The Wilds stuck.
I gotta stop watching shows that are only one season.
And you know what? Paper Girls and The Wilds, they're all women-led shows, and they're being canceled. I detect misogyny. The Boys, literally called The Boys.
And there is, I'm trying to think.
And it's greenlit for like 45 seasons at this point.
Although, I'm trying to think. I think
I call misogyny.
The Boys, character-wise, it's an even... No, it's more men than women. Never mind. But it's
there's like
not
one girl.
No, there's... In the main, like the superstars or whatever, there's 2 women.
Oh.
And in like the other side, there's 1 girl.
And how many men on each side?
Okay, it's not as bad as some of them are. Like the Fantastic Four, there's 3 dudes and 1 girl.
Still.
The percentage is a little bit higher, but still it needs to be 50-50. Or 51-50, because that's what it is in the world.
You know what? I don't even care about 50-50. I just care about, like, having some variation and not, like, just have the token girl or the token black person or the token whatever. Like, just have some, like, variation in, like, the diversity of your main cast.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be 50-50 every time. I'm just asking for more consistency.
Well, especially if it's a what do they call that? Not a compilation cast, but a cast that's a group and not just one main person.
Oh, ensemble.
Ensemble class.
Yes.
You should be a little more diverse.
Exactly.
In every single thing that you do.
Exactly.
Unless, of course, you're a show that's about one specific diverse class.
Right.
And then...
Well, that's different. But, like, if it's just a fantasy show and it's not... I feel like your main cast should reflect the audience that you want. And don't you want, like, a cross-section of the population watching your stuff?
I will
means
say...
you need representation of your characters.
Not Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon. Mm-hmm. They've got people of color.
Mm-hmm. How many?
I think a pretty high percentage.
Oh, nice.
I mean, of the main characters, there's like 3 or 4 people that people might argue, oh, no, they need to be white because they have blonde hair. Well, no, they don't need to be.
Again, this is a fantasy land. You can have people of whatever skin color have whatever hair color you want.
And
the rules don't apply.
I think the author had actually written it with like the platinum blonde hair and blue eyes, and they didn't say anything about the skin color, so that's why they
fine. And even you can go off script, like it happens all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's time for. It's been long overdue for like actual diverse cast, actual representation, actual like not tokenism in all of your
if you're gonna have
creative endeavors.
Don't have them be a stereotype. If you're gonna have somebody.
Mm-hmm. Not even just an ensemble, but like in the writer's room as well, so you can maybe avoid being like making a stereotype of your characters.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
that's
good
just
in
what
every
I want.
arena.
That's what I want.
I want it too.
We hope you do too. But I don't know if my parents have started watching House of the Dragon. They haven't talked about it.
I want to like ask them to just drop because House of Dragon sounds better.
It does. Yeah, and it makes more sense with Game of Thrones, House of Dragon.
I don't know why they keep putting the in there. Are they like the Facebook? You know,
it started its life as the Facebook,
and they don't have just one dragon. There's like 2 or 3 dragons, I think, in there right now. And that's my other complaint. There is not enough dragon
for a show called The House of the Dragon.
There's not enough dragon. Maybe Matt Smith flies on one here and there, but
I mean, there's only been like 5 episodes. Maybe more dragons are coming.
I think you should watch at least an episode or 2 because Matt Smith is pretty.
And I do like Matt Smith.
He's pretty horrible in here.
He was
in a good way.
He was really good in The Crown. He was really good in Doctor Who. I do like Matt Smith.
Well, then you should watch Morbius too because he has a main character.
I refuse to watch Morbius.
Just for that one scene.
I heard it was so bad, and I also don't want to support Jared Leto.
It was supposed to be bad, maybe. Because it
And-
was a bad movie. I was watching it. I'm like,
Why would you make a movie and it's supposed to be bad? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I kept watching it thinking that everyone thought it was good. It's not a good movie.
No. Also, like, yeah, I heard it was bad, and I don't care about superheroes enough to sit through a bad movie that even superhero fans thought was a bad movie.
Well, and I can't figure out, you wouldn't know this. What superhero storyline does Morbius fit into? Is it like
no
the
idea.
Captain America
I have
people,
no
or
idea.
is it the No, Spider-Man is Captain America.
I don't know.
DC or Marvel? That's what my question is.
It's Marvel.
So Marvel is the Disney
Yes.
stuff, right?
Yes.
But I saw it on Netflix, so they must not have the licensing for it.
I don't know. Honestly, I might be talking out of my ass a little
They
bit.
had a thing, and I couldn't remember Michael Keaton. They had like a scene at the end, and Michael Keaton was in it, which confused me.
Morbius. Yeah, it's on Netflix. You get a 5.2 on IMDb, 15% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 35% Metacritic. That's a bad movie, folks.
The special effects were pretty cool, though.
Oh yeah, it's Marvel.
But like, how does he know Captain America? Like, how does he fit into that whole? How does he fit into the 5th wave or whatever they're doing?
I have no idea. I can't. I really cannot contribute.
Where does that
anything to
movie
this
fit in the
conversation.
timeline? That's all I'm asking.
I'm sure you can Google it and ask. Or
like, does he know Spider-Man?
Or watch the movie. Maybe he'll tell you if he knows Spider-Man or not.
And is he a good guy or a bad guy? I still don't know.
I think he's a bad guy.
Well, just because you drink blood doesn't. He didn't want to. He's not really a vampire, but he drinks blood.
Why? Ew.
I don't know. It just made me think too. Is like his last name was Morbius. Like he was bound to be.
Do you know what I keep seeing on Twitter and just other memes? Whenever anyone talks about Morbius, they say, "It's Morbin time." Is that an actual quote from the movie, or is that just something people say?
I've never heard it.
it's Morbin time. I don't know what they mean by that. I don't know if that's a line from the movie that people thought was cringe, and so they memed it, or
it could be. But I could have been walking.
That's just a separate
to
meme.
the bathroom when that was happening. I don't know.
You missed.
I watched it, but I wasn't like watching it. But I was also watching it. No, like I watched part of it on my TV and part of it on my phone.
That's funny.
That's how interested I was. I stopped halfway through to do something else. And
do you know what movie I want to see? Because
Clerks 3?
No, because the PR was such a mess. Don't worry, darling.
I don't even know what is.
I want to see.
Is it a horror movie? Is it a thriller?
It's a thriller, I think, and it stars, if you don't know, Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Chris Pine, Gemma Chan, Nick Kroll, and then directed by Olivia Wilde. That's such a weird cast of people.
The rest of them seem to fit, but Nick Kroll, just
why
doesn't
is Nick Kroll in a movie with Florence Pugh and Harry Styles? That doesn't make any sense.
It's not like a comedy, right? Like he's a comedy person.
He's a comic, yeah. So I think maybe he's trying to diversify his portfolio.
I know, but he's a comic that tells fart jokes. I mean, he's not exactly.
He's not like a distinguished.
He's not
comedian.
a Seinfeld. He's a
no. But I do think Nick Kroll is funny.
I'm not saying he's not, but he does tend to do a lot of base humor stuff.
But I do wanna see Don't Worry, Darling, and I wanted to see it when I first heard Harry was in it because I am a stan. I have to support him, because he's not going to be able to eat without my help. You know, I have to support him. But I also really like Florence Pugh as an actress, and so I was really excited to see this. But I've also heard that it was bad, and so I'm like, okay, I have to watch this for myself then.
I don't think I want to see it in the theater. I'll wait till it comes out on Netflix or wherever it's coming to.
I do want to see it in the theater. I haven't gone to and saw like an actual movie in the theater, I think, for about a year or maybe like 9-8 months or something like that. But it's been a while. I used to go a lot before the pandemic, and then I just got out of the habit of it, and I haven't like resumed my regular movie going time. But that's because like I feel like the rollout for movies is slower. We still haven't gotten back to the pre-pandemic levels of like production yet.
Well, and also you don't have to wait for very long till it comes out on streaming.
That's true. Yeah,
is what I've kind of, because I was like, oh, I should see Thor, and then I'm like, oh, I missed Thor. Oh wait, it's on Disney now for free.
What? That's what I thought about Elvis too, because I wanted to see it in theaters, and then I was like, oh, I missed it, and then it came out on HBO Max, but you had to like pay $20 for it. I'm like, oh, I missed it, and then I watched it last night because it's free on HBO Max now. I didn't love it. I thought it's a biopic, but Baz Luhrmann directs it, and he did Moulin Rouge, and it's kind of an abstract kind of like. It's not linear.
Who's the actor that plays Elvis? I forget.
Austin Butler. And he actually started his career on like Nickelodeon and Disney Channel. So he's around my age. I think he's a little bit older. But so I remember him from iCarly and Hannah Montana. And so when I found out that he was Elvis, I'm like, he's what? But he was actually really good. So I have no complaints about his performance as Elvis, but I didn't like the movie itself. I thought it was weird.
Yet.
I thought it was weird. It is free on HBO Max, but I guess I do like Baz Luhrmann because I have seen some of his other stuff, and Moulin Rouge is one of my favorite movies. But I feel like his directing style doesn't lend itself well to a biopic, at least in my opinion.
I'll have to check it out. It's on. I kind of want to see it.
HBO Max.
I saw Thor finally, and then I realized that Clerks 3 was out in the theaters, but only select theaters, and I got to go all the way to Cedar Rapids to see it.
Oh, I would not do that.
I'm gonna wait. Although I think I would never do that
theater
that has like all you can eat butter, but I'm not 100%.
All you can eat butter,
like the self pump butter.
I know. Yes, I know. I actually, I had an AMC theater in my college town, and so when we didn't see a lot of movies, but I did see. I saw the first Hunger Games there, and they had one of those self-pump butter things, and I'm like, this is the best day of my life.
Yeah. And you can go like halfway through your big popcorn, go back out and put more butter on the bottom half of it.
I'm not the biggest fan of movie theater popcorn anymore since I had a bad experience after eating it.
Bad experiences every time, but I still go back and eat it. See, I eat the whole thing, and my mouth is so torn up.
Oh, that's not what I was talking about.
Well, I haven't had that. But even if I did, I'd still go back and eat a whole thing of popcorn.
But I was so sick, and I was just, I can't eat it the same anymore. And because I've tried, because I loved it before this specific thing happened. Like, I loved movie theater popcorn, like, more than anything else in this entire world. But it's not the same anymore. It always leaves my stomach feeling icky.
Just wear a diaper.
Oh, no!
Put more butter. You need more butter.
Not an
butter
adult
flavored topping.
Not an adult diaper at the movie theater. I mean, that's genius, though.
You only have to get up to put more butter on it.
No.
One time I did ask the people, like, are you guys ever going to get a butter, like a pumped butter thing? And they're like, oh, no, I don't think so. I'm like,
why?
That's the only thing missing from this
Why
experience.
are y'all being stingy on the butter? You
Marcus
never
Theaters, get your act together.
Nobody ever puts enough butter on. I always have to be like, more.
I've always been somebody who doesn't like to ask for extra stuff because I don't want to be a bother. And I don't know, it was probably like not even 5 years ago that I finally started saying, could you put some extra butter on there? And they're like, sure.
Well,
they don't judge you.
No, they don't care.
They like literally every single person will, fill up the popcorn halfway, put the butter, put on more popcorn, butter.
Not everyone, though. Some people are like, they only put it on the top, and I have to like churn it myself.
When I say extra butter, they do it right. Every time I've gone, now maybe if I do it again, they won't do it right. But
see, one time they did that, and I didn't eat like half of the popcorn because like none of it was buttered, and I'm like, what's the point?
The problem is getting salt on the bottom half.
Right. And that's when you have to churn it yourself.
Well, so and I've never done this, but my daughter's friend, I saw her one time. She took a napkin, put a bunch of salt in it, wrapped it up in a little pocket thing, and I'm like, that's brilliant.
Genius.
And then I always forget to do it by the time I get popcorn.
I would be worried about the pocket thing that you made, like
exploding
coming undone. Yeah, and so then you just have salt in your pocket. Or maybe they should give you those little packets of salt.
Or you could just buy your own little, like those little butter flavor salt, like the little flavor things that you can buy to put on there.
Oh, right. Yeah, you could bring those.
I have a little Tupperware salt thing I should bring next time, too.
Yeah. DIY your popcorn experience at the movies.
Except for don't do what my mom did and make us bring popcorn she popped from home.
Really? I guess that's one way to...
I mean, it's smart.
To save money and probably keep an eye on like what oils you use and stuff to make it slightly healthier.
No,
but if you're gonna get if you're gonna get movie theater popcorn, like you're not worried about the health of it.
Well, and I don't know if they still do this, but it used to be before the pandemic when I was going to the theater a lot. We'd go Tuesday nights. It was $5.
Yes, Marcus still does that. $5 Tuesdays or something.
And then they would also, if you were like had that membership card, you could get a popcorn for like a little popcorn for free, or you could upgrade it for like $4 or something and get a big one. Like it was not the full price. Like you could get a pretty decent price on the popcorn, and then I would always splurge on an icy or something, stupid like that. So, but it wasn't spending $30 on that. It was you'd end up spending like 10 or 12. And let's be honest, I go to the movie theaters sometimes just to get the popcorn. I've sat through a lot of bad movies just to eat popcorn.
Do you know, I did that as a kid. I used to go to movies with my mom and grandma just so I could get popcorn. And I did this. We were seeing My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and I knew that was going to be like a boring adult movie. And so I really just wanted it for the popcorn experience. But I ended up laughing at every single joke. It was so funny. And the mom says that like I was the only kid in the theater, and so, like, when I would laugh at, like, the appropriate time, like, adults would look at me and smile. Like, this little 11-year-old girl is, like, getting everything. And so, like, I had a really nice time, and I enjoyed the movie, but I really just wanted the popcorn. And it was at the old movie theater, at the old Capitol Mall, back when
I remember
we had a movie theater.
The cinema theaters.
Yeah, there was
Cinema 1 and 2.
Yeah, there was two screens, I think. And I remember they had Orville Redenbacher popcorn, which I thought was nasty at the time. Yeah. I do like it now, but I thought this does not taste at all the same as the popcorn that you get at Coralville or Iowa City.
I guess I never noticed the difference between
I did.
The popcorns.
And I still do. I just like the difference now.
You're a popcorn snob.
Well, I was back then. I'm not anymore.
I don't care, just as long as it's movie theater. There's something different about it.
I know. I love when, like, you go to the grocery store and it's like movie theater butter, and it's never the same.
It's not
never
quite.
Movie theater.
I found
butter.
like Blast of Butter is the best.
I loved Blast of Butter. I used to come home from school. That was my after school snack because it is a blast. Oh, butter!
I know.
They understood the assignment.
And so now when you make microwave popcorn, right? Mm-hmm. Do you pour the popcorn out of the bag into a bowl? Okay. Why do people do that? Because you can't like all the good chunks of butter are on the inside of the paper.
I honestly, if I like make soup or something in a pan, I will eat the soup out of the pan and not pour it in a bowl or whatever. Because I'm like, why would you dirty a dish if it's only for you? The pan's only for me. Amy doesn't want any. It's only me. So I'm going to be like, I'm keeping it in the pan.
I generally try to do that unless the pan is so hot I can't quite.
Right. Well, I let
it manage it even with a towel.
I let it cool down.
I want to eat it right away.
But yeah, I'm like, I'm going to keep it in this pan so I don't have to like wash a bowl unnecessarily. Yeah. And people will tell you, oh, it's for the aesthetic, or it's easier to reach in a bowl and not in the bag.
Yeah, but you can't like take the popcorn things and like scrape it up against the side of the.
I know.
That's the best part of the popcorn.
We're in agreement here. 1630 KCJJ, you're on the air.
Hello, it's me again. You guys were talking about Clerks 3 a little bit ago, and
she was.
Cindy, you know Kevin Smith is coming to Angler in November and showing it.
What?
Yeah, somebody in the chat room this morning was talking about it.
Are the tickets already on sale, or have I already missed it?
I don't know. He just mentioned it, so it may have just gone on sale, but I can look it up just a minute.
I'm looking it up right now, too.
Oh, okay.
I hate going out in public,
yeah,
but I would do that for this show.
I bet it's kind of expensive, but I know they came to Riverside a couple years ago, like before the pandemic and stuff.
Like the whole cast?
No, just he and Jay.
Oh, man.
Kevin Smith and Jay, because they did that Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Did you see that one?
I did.
I didn't think it was very good.
Is that the one where they did all the Star Wars jokes?
I don't know. It was.
That Jay met his daughter. Was that it?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay,
that's the one
so
with,
I did see that.
Shannon Elizabeth. Yeah, you saw it. What did you think of it?
Obviously, I don't remember a lot of it. I just remember that part. I thought it was okay. It wasn't like
it was kind of lame because it was just like a bunch of cameos.
It wasn't a Dogma, which is like one of my favorite movies by him. But
oh yeah, that's great. Do you follow Betty Aberlin on Twitter?
I'm not really on Twitter. Does she have a TikTok?
Oh. I don't know. I don't use TikTok.
No, I don't. Is she part of the cast, or is she?
Yeah, she was in Dogma. She was in like Zack and Miri. She was in a bunch of other stuff. But she was the main thing is she was on Mr. Rogers.
I haven't seen that yet either. Like the movie,
TV
right?
Show, Mr. Rogers.
The TV show.
No, the TV show.
Oh, I thought the biopic that they did.
Oh no.
What was she on, Mr. Rogers?
She was the adult lady.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, there was a bunch of adults there, but I guess he had regulars. Obviously, she wasn't the mailman.
Well, no. Are the tickets expensive for Angler? Did you see?
I haven't gotten that far. I can't talk and look at the same time. Upcoming events.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I'll hang up and listen.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Ugh. Well, I'm glad you guys could talk about Clerks
Sorry, Molly.
3. No, don't. Remember the last time we were on and
you were talking about Taylor Swift.
Liz and I were talking about Taylor Swift for 20 minutes. You're good. I already told Liz once Midnight's comes out, Taylor's new album, I'm going to have her on again and we have to talk about it for like an hour, but I also actually want her on again to talk about politics because we kind of touched on it the last time she called in, but she does really have some good information and she does write for the Iowa starting line. So
I was going to say, I can't find it right now, but I'm going to look harder later. I am going to say right before we started, Facebook popped up with the thing of, are you registered to vote? Check to see. Mm-hmm. And so you can go, if you live in Iowa, there's a website you can go to check. It's that sos.iowa.gov.
Okay.
And that'll tell you, there's like a little thing that you can just, or
sos.iowa.gov.
And it'll tell you if you're registered, and it actually tells you where your voting poll place is too.
Does your registration ever like expire?
I don't know how that works.
Because I've been registered since 2011. Like I'm not going to unregister to vote. Like
I don't know how that works.
I don't think so. I think we're just trying to get people who maybe identify as apolitical to care enough to register to vote.
Well, yeah, and then I am assuming, and then keep an eye out for voting by mail and all that kind of stuff because that'll be coming up too. Because there's
I got a text about absentee ballots being available soon, but I'm just gonna vote in person again. So I didn't look at that.
I like to do it by mail. I like to
research.
Not research. I like to look everybody up
as you're doing it.
Yeah,
that's what Amy and I did for 2020. We were just like looking people up as they came across the ballot, and we were like, does he believe in climate change? Does he think gay people deserve rights? Cool. Let's vote for.
Well, sometimes you have to like look at their website, like the local people.
Yeah.
You have to look at their websites and sort of read between the lines.
Yeah.
Like I think one person that was running for city council or something like that was like on their website it said something about like vaccinations or something like that.
Oh.
Not like anti-vax, but it was like I'm like, oh, I don't think I like her. And then when I asked everybody, they're like,
if it's anything but full support,
yes.
It's
like, why
it's
mention
garbage.
it at all?
Garbage.
So you have to kind of read between the lines. But I love to do the Facebook post of, okay, who should I not vote for in this local? I mean, I just don't want to vote for the crazy people.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are pretty obvious, but
I, for one, am not voting for Kim Reynolds.
Is she up though for
yes.
November? Okay.
Yes. That's the entire point. Like we want to, I guess for a lack of a better term, dethrone her.
Yeah, but who's gonna run? Who's running against her? I forget.
Deidre DeGear.
She's the black lady, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, she is. And so I'm gonna vote for her. I don't know how well she's gonna do, but I'm gonna try. And I think you all should vote for her.
I wish we all knew who she was.
I feel like
because I haven't seen any. I've only seen a few clips.
I feel like she can be better at marketing.
Better at TikTok.
She does have a TikTok. I've only seen one though cross my FYP.
I know, but is she like that Ken Williams guy from Florida? Like he knows TikTok. He did not win, but like I would vote for him if he ran for an Iowa election.
I'm not sure. You can look her up on TikTok, but I've really only seen the one, and It was kind of topical. It was kind of a trend, but I think maybe she did an you know what? She did an OOTD.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good beginner, right?
Yes, and she did it a few months ago. You know when Bama Rush Talk was big, and so
I'm gonna have to find her on TikTok.
Yeah, you should
decide. Not like I really. Is she a Democrat running against
Yeah,
Kim Reynolds?
she's
That's all I
she's
need
a
to know.
pretty much. that's all that is required for me at this time.
We should back a campaign. This is anybody but Kim.
Not anybody. We don't want someone worse. Although, how do you get worse?
It could. Anytime you say that, it gets worse.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have Liz back on to talk to us about politics if she wants to. Election day is November 8th, right?
Yeah, I feel like there should be more stuff.
Yeah, it's like that's only 6 weeks
I think
away.
House of Dragons is like sucking the energy out of the elections.
That's only 6 weeks away.
Was that planned?
Maybe.
Because November is very, very, very quickly around the corner.
It is. I mean, it's not even. It's not October yet, but it's going to be soon.
But so the governor is up. I think
a bunch of other people are too. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know a lot about politics. I look the people up before I go vote. That's what I do.
Unless, it's harder for
unless there's like a fierce campaign marketing ploy right in my face. I'm not going to go and like actively look up like before I need to, you know?
I wait till they print the ballots. I'm like, okay, I think I know that person.
But it's important to like be informed.
A little
I'm
bit,
just saying I'm not very proactive about it. I think that's okay as long as I know and don't go into the ballot box completely blind.
Well, that's why I like to do the vote by mail. Plus, I work at that building, so I could just drop it off in a little ballot box.
Well, exactly. I've not gone to my polling place for a couple of years now. I go to the Johnson County Administration Building, and it's like the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, and I can vote. I don't even have to drop it in the box. I can just go and vote there. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yes, you can.
And I like to do it ahead of time.
Yep, I
don't
always
forget.
vote early.
And I don't even know where I'm supposed to vote on the day of. That's too hard to figure out. If you live in Johnson County, you never have to vote the day of.
You never. Nope. You can vote early at the Johnson County Administration Building. Or sometimes they do it at the libraries, too, right?
They have satellite voting for every single election.
Yeah, well, so like
up to the election.
It is pretty easy to vote in Johnson County just because you can vote early. And
compared to where I came from, Suter County, there weren't very many options. They didn't have very many satellite votings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you could vote in person ahead of time at the auditor's office like you can here, but you got to go out to Tipton.
Yeah.
I mean,
who wants to do that?
Well, I did not want to. I did, though.
Oh.
Or I just mailed it in. But I'm very thankful to live in Johnson County because it's a lot easier.
Vote by mail is a legitimate way to do it. Don't let Donald Trump fool you guys. It's legal. It's fun. Maybe not fun.
If they do the same thing they did last time, they have drop boxes too. They're easy to drive by.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Drop off.
That's what I did in 2020. Instead of like mailing it back, I got like an absentee ballot and dropped it off. It was very, very easy.
Vote. It's fun. It's fun and sexy.
Vote early, vote often. All right.
And vote to remove the from House of the Dragons. That's on the ballot.
Is that on the ballot?
Yes. I will run for president and make it House of Dragons instead of House of the Dragons.
What if you did put like pop culture stuff on the ballots? Do you think that would increase voter turnout?
I think if you did a phone-in thing, like, I mean, more people vote for American Idol.
Right.
Because they phone in. Politics. Of course, you could also phone in more than once, but.
Right. Okay.
You also have to pay to phone, don't you, to vote, don't you?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't know how that works. Anyway.
I don't either. All right. Well, it is now time to go.
We filled up another 2 hours.
We did, just by talking about nothing. We did not talk about anything of substance except till the very end. Voting's important. But thanks for listening to us tonight. And you are listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Have a good night, everybody.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Now, Iowa City's news first.
I'm Tommy Lang with KCJJ News. A